November is National Adoption Month, and as most of you know, I'm the proud father of Miss Olivia Rose, who came into my life through a private adoption. And as I always say, families come in all shapes and sizes, right? And as we celebrate National Adoption Month, I wanted to make sure that we provide you, the viewers, who have a lot of questions, with the information that you need to get started, right? I've been reading your messages, and there are a heck of a lot of good questions out there. So we have Pat O'Brien. He's the Executive Director of the Adoptive and Foster Family Coalition. He is going to walk us through the process. Good morning to you, Pat. Thank you so much for being here to talk about National Adoption Month.
Thank you for inviting me.
So let's talk about this. How many children, first and foremost, are currently in the foster care system, right? Because that's one way to go about it, the foster care system waiting to be adopted in New York.
Yeah, according to Adopt U.S. Kids, who have the best information about this, about 8,300 children in New York City are in the foster care system, and about 2,500 are available for adoption. Those stats might be a little bit old, but that's around the ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot, you know, and there are so many different ways, as you know, to go about the adoption process, right? So for somebody who's interested in growing their family in this way, like I was, you can be overwhelmed at times. So what's the first step that a prospective parent needs to know and undergo in terms of moving forward in the adoption and looking at the requirements?
Well, before the requirements, the first step is learning about adoption, understanding the needs of the children and their families. So you want to go to an agency or an organization that can provide you information like AFFCNY.org, because we want people to learn. Because before you move forward with the process, we want you to understand early childhood trauma. We want you to understand prenatal care. We want you to understand a variety of things that people don't think about until they come forward for adoption. Because there's a lot of really good information to learn that will make everybody who becomes an adoptive parent a better parent.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I spent the better part of a year reading and learning before actually moving forward with the actual process, right? And like I said, there's so many different ways. Foster to adopt is one way. So how long after becoming a foster parent, if somebody wants to go about it that way, can you then begin the adoption process?
Well, thank you so much for asking that question, because that is such an important question for the children of New York. You see, one doesn't come to the foster care system to adopt. One comes to the foster care system to serve children and their families. So as you're serving children and their families, and we want our foster parents to be zealous advocates to help children return home to their original family. And when that doesn't happen, a child might still be in your home for a series of 12 or 16 or a month or 2 or 3 years. That's actually when foster parents wind up adopting. Like those 2,500 that we talked about are available for adoption. Many of them are living with their foster parents, and many of those foster parents are actually relatives of theirs. So we want people to come forward to foster care for the right reason, and that is to serve children and their families. But sometimes those children stay in a particular family, and they become available for adoption. And if you're in a home for 12 months or longer, you have the first claim to adopt a child, because you're essentially that child's psychological parent at that moment.
Yeah, well, thank you for explaining that part of it. And we obviously know New York is such a melting pot. Transracial adoptions more and more common, which raises some questions about cultural identity. And the coalition actually produced a video which was fascinating about transracial adoptions, held the struggle for identity. I want to play a quick clip.
You're white. Why did you want to adopt a black kid or an Asian kid or a Latino kid? And there should be some sort of we attach so much significance to how they answer that question that they can't just give us a flippant answer.
I used to get very angry growing up when I would look at my dad's den or my mom's bookshelf and see how to raise a black child. I'm like, why do you need a manual for me that you didn't have for your other 3 kids? But there wasn't that a recognition that, hey, we're on a different track here, and we don't have all the answers, and we need to look to people who have parented black children, who are black parents, to give us the answers.
I found this video fascinating because my daughter is mixed, and so what kind of resources are there for transracial adoptions?
Well, I mean, it's a learning process. One, you want to come to the coalition. I mean, we developed that video. Thank you for showing it, because that even in that short clip, it's very educational.
Yeah.
We want people to learn to never ascribe to the notion of color blindness. We want people to understand color appreciation. We want people to go beyond their comfort zone so they can teach their child survival skills in a race-conscious society. And we want them to engage other communities. So we do a lot of work in that area at the coalition, and it's all virtual. We're here for every family in New York State. But we want people to appreciate that added value that diversity brings to their families.
Yeah.
So thank you for raising that issue.
Thank you for making the video. And for National Adoption Month, the coalition's really hosting its first ever online auction. So what is it? What's the auction for? And tell us about it.
The auction is to benefit the programs of the coalition. The way you can make a bid is to do thank you. You have it on the screen.
Yeah.
We have one-night stays at a mansion. We have comedy clubs. We have 4 at 20 Blackbird pies, which people are crazy about. Cameras, museum memberships, a lot of really cool stuff.
Pat, yeah, it's amazing. Sorry to interrupt you. I often get this question a lot, and the question is, what does adoption cost? And you know, I would like to get your perspective on that.
Okay. Well, when people come to foster care to help children, there's no cost for that. If people adopt privately, it could cost tens of thousands of dollars because of the expenses involved. You know, there's legal fees, there's medical fees, there's a variety of things, and also if people adopt from other countries, it could also run into tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And that's a nutshell. Yep.
Yeah, it runs the gamut for sure.
Yes.
Pat O'Brien with the Adoptive and Foster Family Coalition, thank you for being here to explain some of this very briefly. I know a lot of people had questions. The auction is when?
Right now.
Right now. There you go. We'll have the information on pix11.com. Pat, thank you so much.
Thank you.